about a year or so ago at the Millers in reference to mud bogging, but mud bogging is not just mud bogging. It all falls into all kinds of property rights, whether you're having an anniversary party, whether you're having a gun shoot, it doesn't make any difference. It all boils down to the same thing. Improper enforcement in an area that jurisdiction doesn't stand. And in the documents that I sent you, I did send you a memorandum of understanding that the two new members probably haven't seen, but was sent out some time ago in reference to the lawsuit and the Millers. I know some people said they've read it, some hadn't, but I think everybody's got a copy of it now where you know what we were talking about in this memorandum of understanding. It pretty much outlines everything that can be done. I also included in there a stipulation and order for dismissal that was sent to the county prosecutor, not Mr. Miller. And that could come directly from this board. They could make a determination on whether they wanted to cease and desist in this lawsuit that's happening as we speak today. And when we look at the additions of the way these lawsuits are being fashioned up and the information the disinformation, the information that I've included in here is truthful information. You can find it, it's in the statutes. And when you read these zoning ordinances, you have to read them. I don't know if you have read them or not, but it says, in a lot of cases it says may. May does not mean shall. Shall is an absolute must. May means that you can do it or you can't do it, and it applies not only to the zoning commissions, but it also applies to those folks where zoning applies. In other words, you may apply for a permit of some sort. That may means you don't have to do that. And when you're looking at the public domain, you have to look at what public property is versus private property and where the state, county, townships have jurisdiction. And it's very, very clear in a lot of court cases where private patented property does not fall under the public domain. There is not a public interest or proprietary interest or a monetary interest in private property that anybody in this room can show or the county can show where the county has an interest in that property. In other words, where's the county signature on anything on private property? It's not there. And so that's why I sent this out. I'm open for any kind of questions. It was brought up in another situation that because taxation can be involved in an ordinance, if the county can tax, well then the county has absolute control or jurisdiction over a piece of property. But you have to really look at the statutes at large. You have to look at the taxing statutes of the state.
1 minute.
1 minute to go? Good. I was kind of watching up here, thank you. And we look at an ad valorem tax versus a direct tax. If you read your Constitution, Article 9, Section 5, it's very clear. And if you can understand what that says, then you would understand that private property within the public domain is non-existent. Right hand and left hand, you have public property and you have private property. And I would certainly hope that this commission would take a very, very hard stand on private property rights within this county. Are there any questions?
Thank you for your time, and we'll consider your information.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes. Any other comments?
Motion. Yeah. I'm Jack Faber from Tobacco County. I'm not keep it short. That's not an issue we're all really familiar with. And it's the county zoning. You know, there's questions that arise of how did we get this plan? Who wrote it? Who gets to choose the rules over our private property? Who has jurisdiction and authority? It seems like any research we do always leads back to this board. You know, the previous board we had communication with, and we had very little knowledge. We don't really have authority. And once the lawsuit starts, now we really can't even speak about where we all sit and stand on personal private property. There's nothing that can be done with that zoning ordinance without approval of this board, according to the county zoning ordinance itself. You are our elected representatives. You elect people of this community. I love living in a free country. The United States of America, under a constitution, we should never forget that, a compact among states, that enumerated the power of government, to try to limit it. I mean, it enumerated and limitlessly the rest of the rules back to the people. I've always been under the impression, since I've been paying attention, that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and that would be us, the people. There should be discussion on this zoning ordinance. We are a sovereign county. You guys are elected because we're a sovereign county. This zoning ordinance should have leeway to match our demographics. I'm not sure that the wording of it reflects rural Gladwin County as a community. It does represent a blanket of a region, and it's easy to adopt that, but it needs to be revisited. Here's something I read in here that was concerning to me when it comes to personal private property out of the zoning ordinance. And it's talking about the zoning administrator's duties. And this is not to pick on Justin, this is if anybody was that position. The zoning administrator shall be empowered to make inspections of buildings or premises to carry out enforcement of this ordinance. Now that is the direct result of applying for a zoning change or alteration. It is a result of complying with the county ordinance and accepting the county that it has jurisdiction over private domain property. Let's read it again. The zoning administrator shall be empowered, to make inspections of buildings and premises, that be our land, to carry out enforcement of this ordinance. And what am I getting at? By asking for this variance, by asking for special use, which this planning commission has been adamant that's what they require to avoid the lawsuit, you are submitting authority over your property to an appointed property sheriff. If that makes any sense. Giving him or her authority even where Mike Shea himself has none. That's alarming, but that's in that ordinance. Now we could be like Obama saying that, well, sure, the NDAA can indefinitely detain United States citizens, but we would never do that. It's that, right?
Just saying.
Whether folks agree with my volume or not, the premise that this zoning board and county commission are setting, with the help of the county attorney and only God himself knows who else, is dovetailing into any and all activity defined and yet to be defined as criminal until reviewed and classified. There's a statutory overreach that cannot continue. The level of jurisdiction this and other counties are claiming over private property is hanging. There needs to be discussion on this zoning ordinance. As far as we can tell, the master plan expired in 2012. Shouldn't even be applicable unless it's renewed. Just consider, whether you like one bug or not, this dovetails into shooting ranges, dirt bike tracks, any activity that someone might come to our community, say from Oakland County, they like dirt bikes and cars and they won't build a trail. Nope, we have to regulate that. And now we have a county property sheriff that needs access to that property to make sure that you're complying with the demographics of the rural community of Gladwin County. Please think about what's going on. This is going on a long time, over a year now. It needs to stop. It's ridiculous. We don't have the money. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Scott Carroll of Buckeye Township, an avid mud bogger. They support the Miller family and anybody else who wants to have fun on their own property. Or have friends come over and have fun.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes,
Do you want me to come up or?
just state your name.
My name is Ryan Lagrimo. I come from Midland County, up here to support the Miller family. Despite anything else that you guys might have discussed in the past, dealing with the Miller incident, or not incident, but the Miller situation, would really like you guys to consider one thing. Many people travel a long distance to come to these events. Many people spend a lot of money in your community. On the average of a small little admission fee that they might charge to get into their event, for every dollar that they raise, it's anywhere from $5 to $10 that are spent in your community. The gentleman before me said it's a very rural county, not overly laden with businesses. And I know the little businesses here, party stores, gas stations, stuff like that, need those sales. Stop and consider that one little thing also when you make your decisions and how you proceed with this situation. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Can you state your name again? You said it really quick.
Ryan is the first name and the last name spelled Lughero, and from Midland County.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody else? Motion to receive.
I make a motion that we receive and file.
Your support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion to adjourn. Support?
Hey, Terry, did you
Before
close
we leave,
public
may
comments?
I say thank you very much. It's nice, since I was the person who made the motion that we have at least have a night meeting. Thank you very much for coming. I do appreciate it.
I just wondered if you closed the public comments, because I think there's a few more that wanted to talk.
Yeah.
Kelly Miller, Gladwin Township, mud bog guy. I just want to say thanks, last year's been very informal between me, everybody here. Now we get to see a night meeting, get to see a lot of faces. I think it's awesome. We get to see how our county's working. Obviously, we do have some disagreements on things. And as Mr. Faber said, we gotta revisit some stuff here. Obviously, we're sitting in a bad way financially. It's not just the county, it's us individually, it's me just much as the next person, probably just same as you. We need to move forward. It's been a year. I said I was gonna turn the volume off, well, here we are. We're not just a bunch of names, we're not just a bunch of people, we do have faces. I really love the fact that I didn't lose a couple hours worth of work today to come here. And just for the record, just throw it out there, I will be on the November ballot for District 1 County Commission. I just really hope over the last year and a couple of years for just a couple months now, I hope you guys can look downside, make some changes before we come to November. There's a lot of people stepping up to run this year. A lot of people threw their hats in the ring. People are waking up, we're paying attention. Obviously, look around. This is amazing. We're starting to talk. We got dialogue. Now I think we need to go somewhere with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. One more. Excuse
Thanks for
me.
coming.
Thank you. Oh, wait.
My name is Kim Hall, Buckeye Township, and as a mud bogger, as a property owner, I've been trying to keep close tabs on what's going on because it affects everyone's property rights. And all I can ask is that the board look into the information that Tom Dunn and Tab Faber have given you guys, and why this is still continuing on and nothing being resolved. It's all in black and white. It's been printed out and given to you, and I just would like it resolved in a constitutional way.
Amen.